Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth and fancy seeing you here in June. I'm very welcome, my friends, and especially my enemies. Come in, sit down, no touching. I don't do the touching. And welcome to the dceu Extra. Typical, the way life works out is that you do a dceu daily and then you miss an article. And this one's about Matt Reeves talking about the Batman. So I had to do another video. If you're feeling charitable, please smash the subscribe button. Please smash the like button and follow me on Twitter at MoviesTVMad. Matt Reeves on the humanity of the Batman. Matt Reeves tells stories about finding humanity in unexpected places. Let Me In found a friendship between an immortal vampire and a bullied teen, while his Planet of the Apes movies asked us to see ourselves in a society of rapidly evolving simians. Soon Reeves will bring that humanist eye to the Dark Knight with his film, The Batman. When I chatted with him about his Cape Crusader film and his new Amazon sci-fi series, Tales from the Loop, its own exploration of humanity in a curious space, Reeves explained that there was only one way he could make a story about the famous costumed crime fighter. Though taking on Batman seems like it'll be a daunting task, Reeves told me that he approached it like any of his other projects. I'm going to pitch the version of Batman that I would do, which is going to have a humanist bent. And who knows if they'll have any interest. And if they don't, then I won't do it. And that'll be okay, Reeves explained. I was really lucky that they said yes. It's interesting, isn't it? Because he did walk away. He didn't want to do it. So it did seem when he pitched the idea at first that maybe they weren't inclined to do it. Then he walked away. They thought Matt Reeves doing a Batman movie is a pretty awesome idea. So they obviously agreed, and that's brilliant. Reeves revealed that he sees his penchant for this humanism as a necessity of his projects. It's not even like that's an approach that I take, like it's some kind of idea of wouldn't it be great. It's sort of the only thing that allows me to understand how to do it, he said. I can only understand where the camera goes and how to talk about the story, how to write the story, how to talk to the actors. If I understand emotionally what it is I have to do, otherwise I'd be lost. The director added, some people are incredible choreographers and they know how to create an incredible visual dance or all of the kind of stuff. And I love that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, I have to understand it emotionally. So really, he's talking about Zack Snyder when he says some people. And yeah, that kind of stuff is amazing, as we saw in BVS and MOS. As for how those creative inclinations will impact the Batman, Reeves shared a little of what he was most excited to explore when it came to billionaire Bruce Wayne. I wanted to do not an origin tale, but a tale that would still acknowledge his origins. In that it formed who he is, like this guy. He's majorly struggling, and this is how he's trying to rise above that struggle, Reeves explained. But that doesn't mean that he even fully understands, you know. It's that whole idea of the shadow self and what's driving you and how much of that you can incorporate and how much of it you're doing that you're unaware of. Reeves continued, there's something in there that feels very psychological, very emotional, and it felt like there was a way of exploring that along with the corruption in this place, Gotham, that feels very current. I think it always does. There's almost no time when you can't do a story about corruption, but today it still seems incredibly resonant, and maybe from my perspective, maybe more so than maybe at other times. A very, very good short article, basically telling us Matt Reeves' kind of thought process for making the Batman, the kind of story that he wants to tell. Now, he makes a very important point, which I want to go back on. I think this is the most important point, and we just need to talk about it for a couple of minutes. This isn't going to be a long video, by the way, if you're dying to go to the toilet or something. But let's just see where he goes with this. I want to kind of explain, because it's very interesting what he's saying, because what he's saying is that he's not necessarily wanted to do an origin story but a story about the origins of Batman and how that affects Batman. That's very, very interesting. And I think a lot of people are sick and tired of the retelling of the origin story of Batman. Now, this is where I am. I don't understand those complaints. I think Batman has got the most amazing, intense, interesting origin story. And for people to keep on saying, I don't want to see it again, how do you do a Batman story, even if it's a sequel or a prequel or a trilogy or whatever, right, without referencing those compelling origins of young Bruce Wayne seeing his parents murdered in front of him? It's a compelling origin for any character, but it's the most famous origin story of any iconic legacy character. And I think it's important. And I don't know how Matt's going to do this. This is a Batman at the beginning. You know, this is not Batfleck. This is not the Bruce Wayne that's been around for 20 years and he's worn, weary. This is at the beginning. It's very apparent what's driving him in this story, and that's his origin story. So the question is then, will we actually see the infamous murdering of the Waynes? Maybe it will be in a nightmare form. Maybe he'll hear it in his head. I think that Matt will try and differ it up a bit. So it's not necessarily a film about the origin story, but how that origin story affects this character. But you're going to say to me, Mick, this was done in Batman Begins and in Tim Burton's first Batman movie. Yes, it was. But I think he's going to take this and do something very, very different. Like it or not, if you're going to do this kind of Batman movie with a younger Batman, he has to be driven by visually seeing his parents murdered. It's an important element of Batman. And when you do it properly, when you do it thoroughly, it's a very interesting concept. And also, we have to look at another aspect of this, is that I think he will do it in a very, very different, intense way. So this just excites me, what Matt's been saying about his thought process. It is interesting, him saying, if they didn't want to do it the way I wanted to do it, I wasn't going to do it. But this is Matt Reeves. They needed him. They wanted him. It's a great idea. I like what I've seen from what they've shot so far. I can't wait for this coronavirus lockdown to be over so they can continue it and so we can finally see a trailer. We will see. Plans are going to be delayed. We don't know how long this is going to take now. We don't know if he can show any footage at Comic-Con like he promised last year. It's all up in the air right now, and it's nobody's fault. And we're just going to have to wait and see. But I am really excited about the Batman. Comment down below. Like, share, and subscribe, and let me know how you feel about what Matt Reeves is saying about his planning and his ideas for the Batman.